You didn't come across this message by accident. Something deeper within you led you here at this exact moment. There has been a quiet shift happening in your emotional world, something you may not fully understand yet, but you felt it, a subtle pull, a sense that something meaningful is getting closer. Maybe you've noticed it in your thoughts, in your energy, or in the way certain feelings have started to rise without explanation. This isn't random. It's a response to something already unfolding in your life, because someone is slowly entering your path, someone who will treat your presence with a level of care you've never experienced before. You might realize something you weren't expecting, that the love you've been waiting for is already on its way to you. There is something important you need to understand about this kind of love. It does not arrive suddenly without preparation. It does not enter your life in chaos or confusion. What is coming toward you is being built with intention, layer by layer, in places you cannot see yet. While you are here, questioning, healing, trying to make sense of your past, there is another life unfolding alongside yours. And in that life, someone is changing, not randomly, not without purpose. They are being guided through moments that are shaping the way they understand love, situations that are teaching them patience, experiences that are slowly removing the parts of them that once chose the wrong connections. You may not know who they are yet, but something within you has already started to respond to their presence. Have you noticed it? That quiet feeling, like something is approaching, even when nothing around you has changed. If you felt that, don't ignore it. Tell me in the comments, because what you are feeling is not imagination, it is recognition. Right now, this person is going through a process that is preparing them to meet you in a completely different state than the people you've known before. They are learning how to value what is real. They are learning how to stay. They are learning how to see beyond surface-level attraction and recognize something deeper, something lasting. And this matters more than you think, because if they had come into your life earlier, before this transformation began, they would not have been able to treat you the way you deserve. They would have misunderstood you. They would have taken your depth lightly. They would have repeated the same patterns you've already experienced. But that is not what is being created now. What is being prepared is different. This person is not being shaped to impress you. They are being shaped to understand you, to recognize your silence, to respect your emotions, to see the parts of you that others overlooked. And when that moment comes, when your paths finally cross, it will not feel like something new. It will feel like something familiar, not in a logical way, but in a deeper sense, like your presence makes sense to them immediately, like they have been moving toward you without realizing it, and you may feel the same, that sense of ease, of not needing to explain yourself, of being seen without effort. That is one of the first signs. But before that moment arrives, something else begins to happen. You start to change. You begin to outgrow certain conversations. Certain environments start to feel heavy. Certain people no longer feel aligned with who you are becoming. And it can feel confusing, even uncomfortable, because it may seem like things are falling apart. But they are not falling apart. They are being cleared, because what is coming into your life cannot exist in the same space as what no longer belongs there. So the universe begins to make room, slowly, carefully, and sometimes painfully. You may notice distance forming where there was once connection. You may feel a sense of loneliness that doesn't fully make sense. But that emptiness is not a loss. It is preparation. It is space being created for something that will not require you to shrink, chase, or prove your worth. And this is where most people misunderstand the process. They think the absence means nothing is coming, when in reality, it means something is getting closer. If you've been feeling this shift lately, this quiet detachment from things that once felt important, acknowledge it, because you are not being left behind. You are being moved forward. And as this continues, the connection between you and this person, even before meeting, begins to strengthen in ways you may not expect. You might feel emotions that don't fully belong to your current situation, moments of calm, appearing without reason, a sudden sense of hope when nothing has changed externally. These are not random, they are part of something deeper, because sometimes, before two people meet physically, they begin to feel each other energetically, and when that happens, the connection is already alive. Long before the first conversation, long before the first meeting, and by the time you finally stand in front of each other, it won't feel like the beginning. It will feel like something that was always meant to happen, not just physically, but in the way they understand your presence. You won't feel the need to explain yourself again and again. You won't feel like you have to earn their attention. And most importantly, you won't feel like you are being compared, because from the beginning, something inside them will recognize you. Not in a dramatic way, not in a way that feels overwhelming, but in a quiet, certain way that doesn't leave space for doubt. This is where everything starts to change. Because you've known what it feels like to be misunderstood. You've experienced conversations where your words didn't land the way you meant them to. You've felt what it's like to give your energy and not feel it returned in the same way. And over time, that creates a habit of explaining, a habit of overthinking, a habit of questioning your own value. But with this person, that pattern begins to break. You will notice it slowly, in the way they listen, in the way they respond, in the way they remember things you didn't think were important enough to be remembered. And somewhere in those moments, you will feel it. That you are not being tolerated, you are being valued, not for what you do, not for how much you give, but for who you are, without needing to adjust yourself to fit their expectations. If you've ever felt like you had to shrink parts of yourself just to be accepted, pay attention to this feeling, because when the right person enters your life, that pressure disappears. You don't become smaller, you become more of who you already are. And that is one of the first signs that you are being seen by someone who understands your worth without needing proof. It came with expectations, with pressure, with a subtle feeling that you had to behave a certain way to keep it. And maybe at the time you thought that was normal. Because when emotions are strong, it's easy to confuse intensity with depth, but they are not the same. Real depth feels different. With this person, you will notice something almost unfamiliar. They won't try to control your choices. They won't question your independence. They won't make you feel guilty for needing space. Instead, they will respect it. And at first, that might confuse you. Because when you're used to love that feels tight, love that gives you freedom can feel distant. But it's not distance, it's trust. This person won't try to shape you into who they want you to be. They won't slowly push you to change your personality, your habits, or the parts of you that make you you. Instead, they will observe, they will understand, they will accept. And in that acceptance, something inside you will begin to relax. You won't feel watched. You won't feel judged. You won't feel like one mistake could change everything. You'll feel safe enough to just exist. And that changes everything, because when you are not being controlled, you start showing up more honestly, more openly, more fully. You stop performing. You stop filtering every word. You stop holding back parts of yourself out of fear that they might be too much. And the most important part is this: they won't love you less because you are free. They will love you more because you are real. If you've ever been in something where love felt like pressure, where closeness felt like losing yourself, then this will feel completely different. Pay attention to that difference, because real love doesn't limit you. The love waiting for you is not ordinary. It will not resemble the fleeting romances or conditional attachments of the past. It will honor your soul, protect your energy, and expand your heart. It will be patient, intentional, and deeply transformative. Every lesson you've lived, every heartbreak, every silence, every moment of doubt, it has all prepared you for this, even when it wasn't obvious. Because real love is rarely loud, dramatic, or instant. It builds layer by layer through effort, awareness, and patience. And when it is ready, it is unstoppable. It will meet you in ways that challenge everything you thought you knew about connection, trust, and devotion. People assume the worst. They close their hearts. They leave before understanding the depth of what the other person feels. It's easy to misread someone who loves quietly, who grows silently, who protects without fanfare. But this is exactly the type of love that can change your life if it's given the time and space it deserves. Before you walk away, pause. Reflect on the signs you may have overlooked. Consider the subtle ways someone has been showing up for you. They aren't looking for perfection. They are aiming to meet you fully, as you are, with a heart prepared to honor, protect, and nurture. When this person walks toward you, they will arrive as someone who has been shaped by intention, love, and quiet devotion. They have been preparing for you just as you have been preparing for them. Too often, love ends not because it was absent, but because timing, misunderstandings, and fear create distance. They evolve, not because you demanded it, but because the love they feel for you inspires transformation. This growth doesn't happen overnight. It is slow, intentional, and deeply personal. Every step they take to become better is a sign of their commitment to your connection. And here's the truth. The willingness to grow for someone else is one of the clearest signs that the bond you share is sacred, but out of a genuine desire to become the partner you deserve. They start noticing patterns in themselves that may have hurt others before. They take responsibility. They adjust. This kind of love doesn't vanish with space or time. It grows quietly, steadfastly, preparing the way for the moment when distance becomes closeness, absence becomes presence, and longing transforms into a love that feels inevitable. Love has a quiet power. It can challenge people to face their own fears, limitations, and blind spots. When someone truly values you, they begin to reflect on their actions, not out of guilt or obligation. They may not send a message every hour, but their heart is tuned to yours. Your absence is felt like a gentle pull, a signal that you matter more than words could capture. If you have ever wondered whether someone notices your absence, pay attention to this feeling. It is a sign that your connection is alive, even when the physical distance makes it hard to see. It is proof that their care is not fleeting or superficial, but rooted deep in their soul. Even in their ordinary moments, while working, walking, or simply being alone, their thoughts return to you. They replay your laughter, your expressions, the way your presence shifts the atmosphere around them. It's subtle, almost hidden, but it is real. And this is where the quiet magic happens. Because love like this does not need constant validation. It does not demand attention. It exists quietly, steadfastly, and fully aware of your value. They may not say it aloud. They may struggle to express it directly, held back by pride, fear, or past wounds. But their heart remembers you in ways their lips cannot speak. The moments you are apart are not empty. They are full of silent recognition. You might have felt this before, when someone crosses your mind repeatedly, when a sudden wave of emotion hits without cause. That is not coincidence. That is the invisible thread of their care stretching across space and time. It reminds you that love can be both gentle and powerful at the same time. And for the first time, you begin to understand that being truly cherished doesn't feel heavy. It feels expansive. It feels like coming home to yourself through another person. Even when you are not near, they notice you. It's not always words. It's not always gestures. Sometimes it's a quiet, almost imperceptible shift in their energy, an awareness that something important is missing. They care about who you are becoming. They see your future, the best version of yourself, and they quietly help guide you toward it, without pressure, without fear, without expectation. This is a love that nurtures, protects, and inspires all at once. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it is unshakable. When someone cares for your energy and growth in this way, you feel it on a cellular level. It resonates in your soul. And when life challenges you, they will stand beside you, steady and patient, not to fix you, but to remind you that you are never alone. This love doesn't compete with your growth. It fuels it. It challenges you. Not by demanding change, but by showing you what's possible when someone believes in your potential, your strength, and your heart. And the most profound part, they don't just care about who you are now, and instead of adding to it, they protect you. Not in a controlling way, not by limiting your choices or shielding you from reality, but by holding a space where your energy can flourish, where your dreams can breathe, where your heart can feel safe without explanation. They will celebrate your victories without jealousy. They will honor your struggles without judgment. Recognition of your value, your strength, your light, even when the world has overlooked it. And that recognition will feel like a deep exhale for your soul, as if for the first time in a long time, someone truly sees you and nothing has to be hidden anymore. They will notice the way the world sometimes drains you, the way people can dismiss your worth, the invisible weight you carry from past experiences. And that understanding isn't passive, it's active. It's woven into the way they respond, the way they prioritize your presence, the way they honor your heart. This is the kind of love that doesn't just notice your achievements or your happiness. It notices the wounds you carry quietly, the fears you try to hide, the dreams you whisper only to yourself. When someone sees the real you and chooses you anyway, that is not luck. It's recognition. The gestures, the habits, the silences that reveal who you really are. They pay attention in ways that feel almost uncanny, almost sacred. And when they see you fully, without judgment, something shifts inside you. You start to feel that you don't need to hide, you don't need to explain, you don't need to apologize for the depth of your emotions, because they already understand, because they already care. It creates space for you to become who you were always meant to be. The quiet strength behind your smiles, the small sacrifices you make without anyone noticing, the way your heart carries both pain and hope at the same time. Most people never see that. Most people only notice what's on the surface, the easy, visible parts of you. But this person, they see beyond it. They notice the tiny details, the things you thought didn't matter. When this person enters your life, you will recognize the difference immediately. It will feel like coming home, not just to someone else, but to yourself. You are ready to receive it, and when the universe brings you together, you will understand this is sacred, unshakable, real.